Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be books and movies that you can binge during the holiday season. During the holidays, I tend to pick up books that are made into movies, which has adaptation it means, and read the book and watch the adaptation simultaneously. I kind of binge those two and these are the best experience ever. I want you to experience the same, and here are 8 recommendations of books and their adaptations that you can binge during the holiday season. During holidays, I tend to read nostalgic books like Harry Potter and nostalgic movies like Home Alone. One such book is for me Micheal Crichton's Jurassic Park. I know what you think now. This is not a book that screams winter or Christmas in any way, but trust me when I say this, this is the best book to read and binge watch the movie together. The story is about a discovery of an astonishing technique to recover and clone dinosaurs' DNA. Mankind's most thrilling fantasies have come true, and the Earth has seen for the first time man and dinosaur together in a geographic timeline. But there is a dark side to this fantasy. After a catastrophe destroys the park's defense mechanism, the scientists and the tourists are left fighting for their own survival. Isn't this interesting? I'm damn sure that you have already seen this film, and I guess very few people have read this book. This book is really great, but there are a little bit difference between the book and the movie. Nonetheless, it has brought out the essence of the movie. So I would suggest that you read this book and watch the movie. So the movie was based off this book and it was directed by Steven Spielberg. That itself has given that movie a very huge brand, and it's a kind of a cult classic. Out of all the Jurassic Park movies, the first one was my favorite and I can watch that any number of times anywhere. The movie that was based on this book is the Jurassic Park that came out in the 1993. It was a huge hit and that literally showed the world what dinosaurs are. After that, all over the world, so many people were interested in paleontology and they were trying to find dinosaur fossils everywhere. There is so much craze for that movie and that is a cult classic. You can never go wrong with picking that movie for a holiday season. The next book that I want to talk to you about is for the romance lovers out there, and that is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The movie adaptation of this book came out early this year and it was very good to watch for me. This is one of a rare moment where the movie is better than the book. It does not mean that the book is so bad. It is really very good. Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing is really very good and very lush and green. The story is about Emma, Jesse and Sam. Emma and Jesse fall in love with each other first and they get married. And due to some accident, Jessie is believed to be dead and Emma returns to her countryside home and finds her childhood friend Sam. Sam and Emma kind of fall in love with each other and they lead a perfect life, and suddenly they discover that Jessie is not really dead. He again comes back to Emma's life and this is kind of a very uncomfortable situation for Emma there. So what she's going to do? Is she going to pick up Jessie again or stay with the life that she had found later? That is what the story is about, and the movie is also really great. It would be very nice to read the book and binge watch the movie. Okay. This is going to be one of the best suggestions of this video because this one screams winter, both the book and the movie. The one that I'm talking about is The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Cristie. After the Orient Express gets derailed along the Alps mountain, Edward Ratchford is found to be killed in his chamber with multiple stab wounds. As always, Hercule Poirot comes to the rescue and solves the mystery. Who's the killer, by the way? He is already staying inside the train. The movie brings out the essence of the book so beautifully. It is aesthetically shot. I loved every bit of that movie. I loved the Hercule Poirot casting. And everything about that movie is really good. It is very cozy, kind of a cozy mystery story too. So please check it out this winter, The Murder on the Orient Express. The next book that we are going to see is one of my all-time favorite books, that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Rebecca is really good. Once in your lifetime, you have to read this book, whether you watch the movie or not, whether you read any books or not. This is one book that you should read once in your lifetime. The story follows an unnamed narrator. She meets a man in south of France and marries him, who is very much more wealthier than her and much more older than her. So she is going into his mansion, Manderley in England, I guess. She is thrown off to a very new atmosphere. She has to adjust with the wealthy family situation, and everyone there is still in love with Rebecca, who's the first wife of this man. So Rebecca is a haunting spirit in that mansion. Wherever she goes, she cannot escape it. and she slowly learns that her husband is keeping secrets from her, and these are much more alarming secrets than you might think. And I must say that Rebecca is one of the most impeccable characters ever written in the literature of English. Whether you like her or hate her, you cannot stop thinking about her, you cannot stop talking about her. Rebecca is one of the most interesting characters. I really loved reading about her, and this book is rightly titled as Rebecca instead of that unnamed narrator. Speaking about the adaptation of this book, there are two adaptations. One came in 1940 and that was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and one came in 2021 in Netflix, but I did not care about it much because I saw it. I did not like it. It did not do enough justice to this book. I would suggest you to watch 1940 Alfred Hitchcock's version. That is really great. But in the newer Netflix version, the aesthetics are really good. I must admit that. But in 1940s movie, that airiness, that atmosphere, that suspenseful nature of the storytelling of Daphne du Maurier, that was beautifully brought out by Alfred Hitchcock rather than the newer movie. So I would suggest that you read this book and watch the 1940s black and white version. Trust me, it will add more flavors to your holidays. Moving on to the next book in the list. It is also a classic, but a children's classic, that is Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. First of all, let's take a moment to appreciate this edition of the book. This is the Penguin Threads edition. Everything is sewn there, and this is the flop. Inside it seems like the backside of an embroidery cloth. I really love this edition, and there are deckled edges. I read the story in this edition, so this is really close to my heart. Speaking about the story, after the death of her parents in India, Mary is being sent to England to live with her uncle. So there she finds a beautiful garden that is walled and it is locked, but it's not being maintained. It found in the ruins. And also she finds a cousin in the mansion named Colin, who's kind of very sick, and unfortunately he's been neglected and left to die. So Mary, along with Dixon, the maid brother, they both bring out life to the mansion, to the garden, to Colin. Everything is so beautiful. There's so much to learn from Mary, and this is kind of a heartwarming story that is very, very perfect for this holiday season. The movie has brought out the essence of the book so beautifully. The mansion, the garden, everything is so beautiful. Even the characterization of Mary is such, you kind of pity on her. It is really very good. And Collins is really great. Dixon is really great. The garden itself was made into such a beautiful garden in the end. And how Mary's uncle comes and gets back to his life that he long lost. And the picturization was really very good. So reading this book and watching that movie would be a wonderful experience for you during this holiday season. Moving on, the next book that I suggest you is a classic yet again, that is The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. The story follows a young gentleman, D'Artagnan, and his three friends who are from the regiment of King's Musketeers, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis. The villain here is Cardinal because the king is kind of innocent and young, who's recently married. So these musketeers have to protect the king and the kingdom from this cardinal's master plan. Oh, and also there's a cardinal spy, Milady, one of the literature's most memorable female villain. The book is fast-paced and easy to read, so don't worry about its thickness. As for the 2011 adaptation of this book, it is really great. I don't know exactly how many times that I have watched this movie. I used to watch this with my roommate in my college almost every week, I think. We know the dialogues by heart, and this is one of my all-time favorite movies. My favorite characters in the movie are the king and the queen and their cute romances. And D'Artagnan is also pretty cool in the movie too. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, everyone is so cool. I love the line, all for one and one for all. If you haven't watched this movie, please go check it out. We are almost nearing the end of the video. Only two books are left. Both of these books are really great. If you're going to pick any books from this list, these two are really a great pick. So the first one of it is none other than Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I know, it's a shock. Pride and Prejudice screams spring, but I personally love to read the classics during winter, and the movie is also really cozy. It's so chill. It rains almost all the time. It is really great. If you don't know what the story is about Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, their love story. She is kind of prejudiced and he is very pride. So this makes them very, very hard to make up to each other. So Lizzie's family is really great. The Bennet, I love them. They are kind of funny and quirky, but Mr. Darcy is kind of a loner. He has his own pride and he thinks too much of himself in the beginning of the book. So that makes it really, really very hard for them to patch up. This book contains a lot of letters that are exchanged between various characters of this book. All the letters are really great. I enjoyed every moment in this book, in this world. Jane Austen is really great to create this love story that has lasted more than 250 years in this earth. Speaking of its adaptation, there are so many adaptations to this book, but I think everyone unanimously will select 2005's Pride and Prejudice, where Keira Knightley and Matthew Meffeden has acted. That is one of the best adaptation ever made for a book. Nothing can top this one. This is also one of the rare moments where the movie is much more great than the book. The book itself is really great. It already gave me such nice vibes, but the movie so authentic, so great. It is really lovable. You will never go wrong with that movie. If you haven't watched that movie, please do watch it. Even if you don't read Pride and Prejudice, you should check that out. Such a beautiful movie. The scenery, the outfits they wear, the kind of dance, the music, the lightings of the scenes are really great. Please do check it out, especially for the hand scene and especially for Keira Knightley, such a wonderful actress. I love that movie. The next book is the most apt book to read during Christmas because the entire story literally starts during a Christmas Eve. I'm talking about none other than The Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott. The story is set in late 19th century and it follows four sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth and Amy. This is a great book with wonderful sibling dynamics, and the important sister that we follow during the story is Jo, who is very ambitious with her character. She kind of rejects a proposal from her next door friend Laurie, and she kind of ends up lonely after that. But don't worry, everything falls in peace in the end and it's kind of a happy ending. Story about the other sisters are also equally given well in the story. It is really fun time to read about all of them. There is a bit of tragedy in the story, but I do not want to spoil it. But keep that in mind, that is the only place where you will feel sad. Rest of the book is really enchanting and really very good. The movie adaptation of this book came out in 2019 and oh my god, was it perfect. The casting was top notch. They selected the perfect actors for each of the characters, especially they made a very well selection with Jo, Beth and Amy. I enjoyed everything about the movie. The Christmas, the opening, it was all so superb. Meryl Streep has also played a very important role in this movie. I loved the dynamics between Jo and Meryl Streep. It is really kind of very goofy and love and hate relationship was there that I enjoyed so much. This is really the best movie to watch during holiday time, cuddled up in a blanket, and this will definitely lift your spirits and you will have a wonderful Christmas. So that is pretty much it, guys. This is all the books and the movies that I wanted to talk to you about. Which one is your favorite from this list? Or is there something else that you look out for during the holiday season? Please do comment and suggest me. I would love to know all your suggestions. So until I see you in a very next video with a bookish content, this is Sushmita signing off. Bye.